Hey, I'm Nick DiMatteo, and welcome to Season 8, Episode 2 of Music is Not a Genre, MxG. Thank you, as always, for being here. This week's topic, kind of an about-face from last week's crazy topic, is the Pointer Sisters get more excited. You like the pun? And we'll get to that in a second, but as always, thank you for watching and listening. Listeners, go to youtube.com/@musicisnotagenre. You get a video for every episode of this podcast. Watchers, go to nickdimatteo.com/musicisnotagenre if you'd rather just listen. And everyone, go to patreon.com/musicisnotagenre to support this podcast, my band Rec, and everything I do. I cannot stress how important it is to have the support of my Patreon supporters. Please consider going there and supporting. There's always a link in every podcast, and I put it at the bottom of the screen if you're watching, etc. Please do. And like, share, subscribe, rate, review, all the things they tell you to do, because I've been told by other podcasters that it makes a huge difference, and I believe that it does. Of course, my song coaching business, nickdimatteo.com/songcoaching. Don't sit on the song that you've been wanting to write for years. Let me help you make it great. And my band Rec's new single, You Know You're Right. It's been out for a couple of weeks now, and it's the most popular song on Kite to Camden at the moment, and I'd love to get your take on it as well. Please listen to it wherever you stream music, and share it and playlist it and all that stuff. Even the smallest thing makes a big difference for struggling and independent artists like me. And and there will be another single coming from the album, one more single coming from the album later this year in the fall, late fall or mid-fall. But let's get to the topic right now. So again, the Pointer Sisters get more excited. Why am I doing it? So I do what I call chronolography, which is a word I've made up, which is just me going through an artist's entire primary catalog. So I don't really do all the live albums. I do the EPs generally and the non-album singles, but if it's peripheral, no, the compilations, unless there's some new song on there, etc. And over the summer, I was compelled to listen to all of the Pointer Sisters. And then I think during that, I was talking to my wife about it, and she's like, have you done a lot of episodes on women? And the answer is sort of. It's not a great answer. A lot of my episodes have included women because I've done, albums of each decade and things that are like surveys like that will always include women. I've done bonus M extras specifically on women of the 90s, and stuff like that. I've done Liz Phair and some others. But yeah, it's true. It's a small percentage of artists that I've done who are women. And one of the things I'd like to do this season is to kind of, work on that. And so doing the Pointer Sisters is one way to work on that. So that's what this is. And so my listening and my wife's pointer, two reasons that I'm doing the Pointer Sisters. The third reason is they're one of those bands, and this is kind of the most important reason. We think we know them because we know their hits, but what we know is a tiny part of the whole. And one of my missions here on Music is Not a Genre is to shed light on, music and artists that we should know better because they're worth it, including my own music, my band Rec, certainly at the end of each episode or just about every episode. But any topic I take on, even if it's a famous band like the Kinks or something like that, what about them might you have missed? I try to go over that. And that's the main reason I'm doing the Pointer Sisters. They deserve more appreciation for their body of work. So the show format, I'm going to do a band history, go through all their albums and singles and a couple of other things there in the chronology. Then some conclusions, including ranking the albums, all 15 Pointer Sisters albums. I will rank from 15 to number 1. If you want to hear my top 35 Pointer Sisters songs, go to patreon.com/musicisnotagenre to check out the bonus M extra. That's where you're going to get that. And then I'll go through a featured song, as always, some questions for you. My sources here, Wikipedia, Google, streaming services, including YouTube and Spotify, The Guardian, smoothradio.com, and Reddit. Disclaimers, as always, I don't, like I said, focus mostly on live and compilation albums unless there's something new or significant. I don't go deep into personal lives and issues unless it's relevant. I will be biased, of course, which songs and albums I prefer. And I'll probably miss things. Please let me know if I do. That said, let's get into it. So history. The Pointer Sisters family grew up in Oakland and started performing together in church in the 50s and 60s. And even though they were cautioned by their family against listening to or performing rock and blues, they eventually started doing it anyway. Initially in the late 1960s, the third sister, Bonnie, and the youngest sister, June, formed a duo called Pointers Au Pair. Fun name. Anita, the second sister, soon joined in. And I guess that's when they changed it to Pointer Sisters, since they weren't a pair. And they started out as backup singers for many, many artists. Some listed, and you can verify these: Grace Slick, Sylvester, Boz Scaggs, Taj Mahal, Elvin Bishop, and Betty Davis. While they were touring with Elvin Bishop, they were discovered by an Atlantic Records A&R rep and signed to a deal. They put out a few singles that failed, so Atlantic immediately dropped them. Great job nurturing artists, Atlantic. They have been sued by many people for that. They're not the worst. Oldest sister, Ruth, joined in 1972, prior to the recording of their first album for their new label, Blue Thumb. They had a few early hits, which again, I'll talk about all the music in the next section. And they stayed on Blue Thumb through its purchase by ABC and through their fourth album in 1977, which June briefly quit the band before that was recorded. They weren't doing great career-wise at that point, and Bonnie left to pursue a solo career. So they were a bit in a shambles. She'd only returned for like one, I think, a concert or something like that in 2009. I'll actually discuss her in a little bit of detail later on. They signed to Planet Records in 1978 and started their incredible climb back to the charts that included 6 albums on that label, even through its sale to RCA, and tons of hits. They remained on RCA through their chart decline in the 80s and then shifted to Motown and SBK for their last 2 albums in the early 1990s. And though they released a handful of singles after that, their recording career pretty much halted in 1993. Through several lineup changes, they've continued to perform consistently ever since and are on tour right now. I mean, if you know them, you understand there's some asterisks there, and I'll get to that. Anita, June, and Ruth, the classic lineup, stuck together until 2002 when June left and died 4 years later, sadly. She was replaced by Isa Pointer, daughter of Ruth, who's still in the band. Sadako Pointer, Ruth's granddaughter, joined in 2009 and still performs with them. So it's Ruth, Isa, and Sadako. It's 3 generations. Anita left in 2015. Oh no, yeah, Anita left in 2015 and died in 2022. So the current lineup consists of Ruth, her daughter, and her granddaughter. And interesting that the only surviving Pointer sister is the oldest. They have received 3 Grammys, sold around 40 million records, and had 13 U.S. top 20 hits over a 15-year period. They got a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. They got Soul Train Hall of Fame induction in 94. Vocal Group Hall of Fame induction in 2005. But they are still not in the Rock Hall of Fame because of rockism, which I think I talked about in my bonus MxG last season, which I then put out to the world. And that's the brief history. Let's get into the chronology. Note that there have been tons and tons and tons of hits compilations, and there have also been 3 live albums, but I'm only going to go over 1 of each of those. Go ahead and look up the rest if you must. They started out their recording career in the early 70s. They had some early singles recorded, 3 songs, none of which charted. As I mentioned, they failed, so that's why Atlantic dropped them. 1971's Don't Try to Take the Fifth and 1972's Destination No More Heartaches, B-side Send Him Back. Those first 2 songs are clearly mimicking the Jackson 5 sound, and I like them. I think they're fun. It's interesting, and we'll go into this a lot more in this episode, but the Pointer Sisters changed their sound often and incorporated many different styles in their sound. This is not one that I was expecting because I didn't know these singles until I listened through. The third one, Send Him Back, is a Northern Soul classic. I talked about Northern Soul last week and said that I might do an entire episode on Northern Soul. So if you want to look up what that is, or just wait, I might, later this season 8 might do a whole episode. I think it's worthy of, a full episode. Which brings me to their first album, eponymous, The Pointer Sisters, 1973. Debut, number 13 in the U.S., Maine. I don't know where it hit in the R&B. I forgot to put that in. Please look it up and let me know. Out of the gate with 2 singles that charted, one in the top 20. It was a hard shift away from the pop R&B soul sound of their first singles to an incredible mix that does not include that sound at all. Real shift. Already showing their amazing ability to morph. And I'm guessing, and this may apply to all of their changes, that they had an interest and background in varying kinds of music. And in this case, for this first album, swing music. Yes, you heard me right. B, it's likely the producer steered a lot of this, and they were probably doing it live. And so they're like, throw that on wax. And then C, there was people talk about the 90s swing music revival. You can even talk about the 80s, like Rockabilly and Brian Setzer revival and all of that. Apparently, there's another swing music revival happening right now. There was a 70s swing music revival. If you think about people like, Bette Midler and all in Manhattan Transfer. And so that may be another reason why they did this. The mostly light jazz on here is not my fave, but I will be honest. 2 things. Second listen, appreciate it a lot more. And you can't deny the variety and quality and the performance level. So, as always, I won't go through every track, but my favorites, Yes We Can, number 11, Maine, number 12, R&B, big hit, written by Alan Toussaint. Cloudburst is boilerplate swing. Jada, number 3, more interesting pop jazz than most. I liked it. River Boulevard sounds like Southern funk. New Orleans, little feet in a way. The 5th song is Old Songs. 6 is That's How I Feel. Cool. Vocal, instrumental, funk in over 7 minutes. Very cool. 7 is Sugar. 8, Pains and Tears. Cool social message wrapped in pretty traditional jazz. Nice mix there. 9, Naked Foot. It's a fun jazzy song. And 10 is Wang Dang Doodle, which was the other hit. Number 61, Maine. And number 24, R&B. And pretty much funk, jazz, southern rock. Nice mix. Really hits. Also over 7 minutes. They did a lot of jam songs. Their second album, That's a Plenty, in 1974, was not as big a hit. It only went to number 82 in the main charts. The cover really cashes in on the swing revival. I just flashed it on the screen, and if you're just listening, look up That's a Plenty Pointer Sisters. You'll see how cool the cover is and how it really is like a swing revival cover. Again, the throwback stuff, it's not for me. But again, the second listen, I appreciated it more, and they clearly nailed it all. Very similar mix to the first album, but adds a bit more country flavor, a bit more eclectic. First is a medley. The second part of the medley, Steam Heat, was a single, went to number 108. Number 2, Salt Peanuts. It's a fun, fast version of this song. My dad used to kind of mockingly sing this song. Salt Peanuts, Salt Peanuts. Grinning in Your Face, Gut Bucket, Blues Funk. It's my favorite on this album. But if you want to know my top 35 favorite, bonus MxG at patreon.com/music is not a genre. I'm not telling you where it falls. 4, Shaky Fat Blues. 5 is That's a Plenty, Surf It, USA. 6, Little Pony. They're all kind of jazzy throwbacks. 7, Fairy Tale, written by 2 of the Pointer Sisters. It's the 3rd single, and it's another big hit. It went to number 13, Maine, and on Adult Contemporary, and number 37, Country. It was straight up a country tune. Another genre feather in their caps. One of the biggest crossover hits ever. In fact, it won Grammy for best vocal country performance by a duo or group. So one of the Pointer Sisters Grammys was for country. Number 8, Black Coffee, smoky jazz. Very nice. Number 9, Love in Them Their Hills. Second single didn't chart, but cool, funk, vocal instrument mimicking. Just, love it. Social message. Why can't I say that word today? And over 8 minutes long. Love that they're ending these albums with a jam. That same year in 1974, they put out Live at the Opera House, which was seminal because it was the first pop. They were the first pop group to perform at San Francisco's Opera House. It was a fair hit. Number 96 Main, number 29 R&B. It's okay. They released the Everly Brothers' Let It Be Me as a single, which did not chart. Then the following year in 75, they put out a non-album single, Live Your Life Before You Die. And this is one of the many times that they would try to repeat success by doing an echo of the music that they were successful with before. This was a country vocal. It didn't chart. Now, that said, in some ways I like it better than Fairy Tale, not because it's a better song, but because it mixes country and funk in a way that's more unique to them than Fairy Tale was more straight up country, but also a good song. In that year, Steppin' was their next album, the third album, 1975. It's a comeback album, went up to number 22 Main and number 3 R&B. When you look up, okay, so I'm showing you covers on the video. Again, audio, you're not seeing it. But if you look up the first 2 covers, Pointer Sisters and That's a Plenty, and then look up the cover of Steppin', you can tell the change they were going to make in their music. You can tell the shift, a huge shift. I would call this their third period. If you consider their first period, those few singles, and then the second period, the first 2 albums were largely jazz and some funk. This is the third. It's funk. It's deep funk. It's also kind of middle of the road, soul pop, orchestral. I think it's more cohesive than the previous 2 albums, but that's just my bias because I happen, to like it more. But you don't know where it falls in my top 15. Stick around. You'll find out later on. Number 1, How Long? Bet You Got a Chick on the Side. Freaking awesome song. First single from the album, made it to number 20 Main. And the number 1, their only number 1 on any chart in the U.S. was this, R&B, on number 1 on the R&B chart. Sleeping Alone is Stevie Wonder song. You got to hear the amazing harmonies here, the crazy style shifts throughout the song, and it all works. It's a great song. Number 3, Easy Days. Sisters co-wrote this with Isaac Hayes. Yeah, that Isaac Hayes. Number 4, Cheney Do, another vocal pyrotechnics, percussion, and instruments and layers that you'll love. And then I Ain't Got Nothing But the Blues medley. Number 6, Save the Bones for Henry Jones. A similar throwback to their first 2 albums, but very cool vibe, cooler vibe. They're really in their element. 7 is Wanting Things, is smooth orchestral R&B pop. 8 is Going Down Slowly. Second single, went to number 61 Main, number 16 R&B, incredible funk, and again, yes, almost 8 minutes long. Love that they were doing this. Love it. The following year in 1976, they had done enough and probably had a contractual obligation, put out another album, and they put out the best of the Pointer Sisters. Their first best of many. Yeah, I haven't even counted how many. Nice mix of hits and near hits, including a new single, You Gotta Believe, which was featured in the movie Car Wash. It's really fun. It went to number 103 Main. It went to number 14 R&B. Look up Car Wash. Fun movie. In 1977, they put out a non-album song. You're going to know this one. It's called Pinball Number Count. It wasn't released as a single. That's why I said song. Why? It was on Sesame Street. If you know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's the Pointer Sisters. This is the first time in my life I probably would have heard them. Probably. Wouldn't have known it was them. Didn't know it was them until very, very recently, to be honest. Prior to this research for this. A couple of years ago, maybe. 1977, they released their next album, Having a Party. Another style shift. So this is their fourth period. June was only on the title track, which is a cover of a Sam Cooke song. She had quit before, wasn't on the rest of the album. So it was just Bonnie, Anita, and Ruth. It kind of tanked. And after this album, Blue Thumb, the record label, dropped them. Understandable, but again, disloyal. It only made it to number 176 Main. I don't know where it made it on R&B. I didn't list it. Though it wasn't a hit and it had no hits, it brought in musical elements that would come to define some of their first comeback hits. So it was, in its own way, an important album. Number 1, again, Having a Party, Sam Cooke cover, very good. It was their first single. It only hit number 62 on the R&B charts. Don't It Drive You Crazy? Spacey, smoky, orchestral funk that I really like. Number 3, I Need a Man. Second single, did not chart at all. Funk rock, little long, and doesn't hold up the way some of their other longer songs does. I think if this were released 2 years before, it would have been a hit single. Waiting on You's number 4, so damn good disco pop. Damn good. I'll Get By Without You is good funk. Bring Your Sweet Stuff Home to Me, Latin-tinged funk, dance, co-written by the sisters and again, Stevie Wonder. Number 7, Lonely Gal, southern funk. Little long, but I do like the song. After that album, Bonnie left to pursue a solo career. Quick summary of her solo output. So starting in 1978, she released 4 albums through her career. 78, 79, 84, and 2011. And 9 singles through her career. And they are. So 1978's Free Me From My Freedom hit number 58 Main and number 10 R&B and number 2 in the dance charts. Decent hit. Interesting mix of funk and dance and banjo. The extended dance version included Tie Me to a Tree towards the end part, which is just a great song. 1979's Deep Inside My Soul was a ballad that did not chart. Same year, I Can't Help Myself, Sugar Pie Honey Bunch, a cover, obviously, disco cover, disco. Fairly good. Number 40 Main and number 42 R&B and number 4 dance. So she had some dance hits. I think more dance hits than Pointer Sisters, I believe, or at least in this era. Then in 1984, the single Your Touch, which sounds like it was recorded in the late 70s and saved for some reason. It's not of 1984, but really nice. Made it to number 35 R&B and number 64 dance. That same year, she released Premonition, which is very much a 1984 song. Great production. Not a great song, though. Only number 84 R&B. Following year, 85, she released The Beast in Me. Rock, dance. Very 1985. Not a great song. It did make number 87 R&B and number 31 dance. And at that point, I guess she bowed out. But then released a single in 2010, which I assume was on her upcoming album the following year, called Strangest Day. Nicely produced, kind of rootsy rock pop. And she has a great voice. That was my respite to Bonnie. Let's get back to the Pointer Sisters proper. So now they're a trio. And in 1978, they recorded what would be the first of several comeback albums. Or was it first? Energy. That's the name of the album. Recorded without Bonnie, of course. First of many with producer Richard Perry, who served them well for many years. Number 13 Main and number 9 R&B is where it rose to. They have a renewed energy, although they always had energy, but renewed. Yet another reinvention. A lot of rock, especially country rock. A lot of it. I feel like, and I'll say this even though I appreciate and love them, they were, again, trying to follow a trend because country was huge at this point. You can see my history of country music to find out what was happening in the late 70s. But they also added in a lot of synth stuff for the first time. So it was a cool amalgam, and that's probably why, those are the reasons why it was a successful album. You know, as well as, I think that was it. And they had a hit song, which I'll get to soon. Number 1 was Lay It on the Line, country rock. Good. Number 2, Dirty Work, cover of Steely Dan. Really good. 3 was Hypnotized. 4, As I Come of Age, very good country pop. Number 5, Come and Get Your Love. Not the one you're thinking of. Number 6, Happiness. It's their third single. Number 30, main charts. Number 20, R&B. Really good dance tune. I like it. Number 7 was the big one. A Bruce Springsteen song that they were the second people to release, but the first ones that have a huge hit on. And the first person wasn't Bruce who released it. He didn't release it till later. And that's called Fire. Gary Talent released it first. A decent hit with it, but they had the bigger hit. Tied for their top charting single in their career at number 2 in the main charts. Number 14 R&B. 8, Angry Eyes, a Loggins and Messina cover. Really good. 9, Echoes, really good, actually. Number 9, Echoes of Love, which to me was looking ahead to their next hit sound in like the, 80s. Synth pop dance, decent song. Number 10, Everybody is a Star, cover of Sly and the Family Stone song. Second single, didn't chart. did it up a country version of it. And it's really good, actually. Bonus tracks on here, Love is Like a Rolling Stone, kind of country rock. Number 12, If You Want to Get Back Your Lady dance mix, and Happiness, the 12-inch version. Some of these others will have bonus tracks on future releases of the album, which I will only mention if it's something different or new. 1979, they released the album Priority, which again was trying to recreate the sound and success of the previous album, and again fell flat. It only went to number 72 Main and number 44 R&B. This strategy defined their entire career, except for the very early 1980s. It's very, very country rock, and all of it is fine. There's nothing special except for the fact that they always do it so damn well. And I believe it's all covers, I think. Who Do You Love? First song. Second single. Only hit number 106 Mains. Country rock is not bad. All Your Love is a Bob Seger cover. Then Dreaming Is One. Then Turned Up Too Late. Happy was a Stones cover. Number 6, Blind Faith was their first single. Only hit number 107 Main. Steelers Wheelers cover. So-so. 7, Don't Let a Thief Steal Into Your Heart. 8, She Got the Fever. It's just another Springsteen song, which they released second again. And again, Springsteen wasn't the first. It was Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes. Number 9, The Shape I'm In, cover of the Band song. Really good. And then in 2009 reissue, they added Nothing But a Heartache, which was a Doobies cover. And very good. I'll do one more album, I think, before we break. Because perfect time to break. Special Things, 1980 album. Yeah, you guessed it. Another reinvention. I guess they felt they needed to do. R&B pop dance. And the first of a string of 6 hit albums. Richard Perry helmed. Number 34 Main, number 19 R&B. The first 4 of those albums are considered their commercial heyday. Very strong. 2 songs co-written by Burt Bacharach and Carol Bayer Sager. So the first song, Could I Be Dreaming? Second single, number 52 Main, number 22 R&B. Post-disco song. Basically great. Number 2, He's So Shy. Probably the first time I became aware of this band as a band with a name, because I knew the pinball song but didn't know the name. This was the second single, and it was a huge hit, one of their hugest in their career. Number 3 Main charts, number 10 R&B. Number 3, The Love Too Good to Last. Number 4, Evil. Number 5, Save This Night for Love. More post-disco, and I love it. Number 6, We've Got the Power, also similar. Third single didn't chart, but I like it. Where Did the Time Go was the 4th single, didn't chart. This was one of the Burt Bacharach co-writes. 8, title track, Special Things. Number 9, Here Is Where Your Love Belongs, written by Bill Champlin, who would go on to join Chicago and write equally insipid stuff, and some hits. And the remastered bonus track in the 2010 reissue, Moving On. Fun sound, but not a great song, which you'll hear me say that often later on. And by later on, I mean in the second half, because we're going to hit the mid-roll break, and I'll be back in a minute. Hey, thanks for checking out this episode of Music is Not a Genre. If you'd like to learn more about this podcast, if you'd like to learn more about the music I do with my band Rec or any other projects or anything else about me, go to nickdematteo.com. That's Nick, DEMATTEO.com, and everything is there. There's even a link to a merch store where you can get t-shirts and mugs and hats and totes and notebooks and so many other things. I'm always adding new products there. Great way to support the podcast. And finally, go to patreon.com/music is not a genre if you'd really like to show your support. My fans and lovely family there get exclusives and other perks and early releases, and they get to suggest topics for future podcasts as well. Thanks for listening to the mid-roll. Now back to the show. Okay, we're back. If you noticed, the mid-roll is the same as it was last season. I had mentioned last week that I might be changing some things. I don't know if I'll change that, but you might start seeing some changes in the video and in graphics and stuff like that, which I'm somewhat excited about. I like to refresh things every now and then. Programming note. So let's get back into the chronology. In 1981, they released the album Black and White, continued their success, number 12 Main and number 9 R&B. It's a very strong album. Number 1, Sweet Lover Man, was the 3rd single, did not chart. Number 2, Someday We'll Be Together. I don't think it's the one you're thinking of. Number 3, Take My Heart, Take My Soul, which was a real look forward to their future hits, but wasn't itself a hit. Number 4 was the big one, the first single from the album, tied for tops for them. Number 2, main charts. Number 7, R&B. It's called Slow Hand. I want a man with a slow hand. I want a man with an easy touch. Or is it need? I don't remember. Number 5, We're Gonna Make It. Again, let's look forward to their future sound even more. Good song. Not as good as their future hits, but very important template that they'd follow to have bigger hits. Number 6, What a Surprise. It was their second single, only number 52 R&B. Didn't chart in the main charts. Nice, funky synth R&B. I like it. 7, Got to Find Love. Number 8, Fall in Love Again. It was a nice mix of styles. In fact, this might be the one Pointer Sisters song to listen to if you want to hear all their styles mixed into one. All their styles except the very late 80s, early 90s, but any previous style and early 80s style. Fall in Love Again is the one to listen to get a sense of how eclectic they were, but all within one song, which is what makes it cool. Number 9, another hit, Should I Do It? Should I Fall? 4th single. Number 13, Main. I remember it very well. I remember it as well as I remember He's So Shy. Some remastered tracks in the 2009 reissue, Holding Out for Love and What a Surprise original edit. Next album, so excited, exclamation point, 1982. You'd think this was their real breakout album, pun intended, but it wasn't. It was actually a slight dip. It went to number 59 Main, number 24 R&B. Didn't kill their career, because by this point they had finally taken hold in a way that I think they had wanted to and almost did early in their career. It was kind of the calm before the storm. They reestablished themselves in those first couple of comeback albums, and then this was like, okay, we're doing this, but you don't know what's coming. Very much like the previous album. Starts out with the song, I'm So Excited. For those of you who think it's on the next album, it was in a reissued form. But it started here. It was penned by the sisters. Second single from the album went to number 30 Main, number 46 R&B, but would chart again in a retooled version 2 years after. Number 2, See How the Love Goes, was going to be a single, but I assume it was too controversial. No, it said it was too controversial. I assume it's this sexual whatever, with a woman being the, decider. Okay, guys, come on, settle down. It's a great song. Number 3, All of You. 4, Heartbeat. Good song. Think it could have been a hit, honestly. 5, If You Want to Get Back Your Lady was their third single. Decent song. Number 67 Main, number 44 R&B. Number 6, surprise, surprise, I didn't know this. They did a cover of Prince's I Feel For You. So faithful to the original. Not as good as Chaka Khan's reinvention, but still very good. And I think she did that 2 years later. So they did it first. Number 7, Heart to Heart, really strong. Also could have been a single. Number 8, American Music. I love this song. I wouldn't have remembered that they did it, though. That's the thing. Which is funny because when Fire came on, prior to me listening to all this, Catherine and I were listening to it, my wife, and we were like, who the hell did this song? Completely forgot it was the Pointer Sisters. That's how eclectic. It was the first single off the album was American Music. It went to number 16 Main, number 23 on the R&B charts. Number 2010 remastered tracks. I'm so excited, 12-inch mix, and If You Want to Get Back Your Lady, 12-inch. A lot of 12-inch mixes during this era, which brings us to their breakout album called Breakout. Yeah, 1983. Self-fulfilling prophecy, let me tell you. Highest charting album of their career, made it to number 8 Main. Number 6 R&B, I believe a different album charted higher in the R&B charts. This is the album that ensured they'd never be forgotten. That they weren't just, they had a couple hits in the 70s and early 80s. No one will ever forget the Pointer Sisters. Now, because of this album, straight synth pop, worth the praise. Even though the second half, I think, is not as strong as the first half, still worth the praise. Number 1, Jump for My Love, featured in my songs about Jump, Podfast. It was the third single from the album, went to number 3 Main, which is the third highest in their career, and number 3 R&B. Grammy for Best Pop Vocal Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocal. So this is their second Grammy. Automatic, number 2, second single from the album number 5 main, number 2 R&B. Another top 10. This is the one they won the Grammy for Best Vocal Arrangement for 2 or More Voices. And that is their 3rd and final Grammy. 3, Baby Come and Get It was the 6th single from the album, number 44 main, 24 R&B. Strong song, but I barely remembered it, which I should remember it because I remember that era. It was really good. Number 4, I Need You was their first single, went to number 48 main, number 13 R&B. It was an okay ballad, not great. Dance Electric. Then Neutron Dance, 5th single, number 6 main, number 13 R&B. Great song. Number 7, Easy Persuasion, really cool, smoky ballad. Number 8, Nightline. Number 9, Telegraph Your Love. Number 10, Operator. The Deluxe Expanded Edition remastered bonus tracks, the remixes, the very cool 12-inch remix of Automatic, Jump From My Love, I Need You, and I'm So Excited. This was the reissued one that went to number 9 main. I can't tell you which version I knew best. I assume I heard the first version first, right? But if you were to play each one of them, I don't know which one I'd be like, that's the one I always listen to. I don't know. Neutron Dance 12-inch remix and a Baby Come and Get It 12-inch extended version. In 1985, they released the album Contact, follow-up album. To me, it was, I would call it the warmed over hits album. Second most successful of their career, though, number 25 main. It went to number 11 R&B. It probably didn't deserve the heights it reached, but everyone wanted more of them. So, of course, it was going to sell well. And it was 2 years after their other one. Of course, I'm also not a fan of production during the mid-'80s, so I might be biased here. Again, as I mentioned, trying to repeat their success by recreating their previous sounds. This is the 3rd or 4th time they did that. And I think it is stale, even though their energy is not, and their performance is not. So it's not bad. I think it's one of their better production examples of this period. There are certainly far worse production examples from 85. Just no amazing songs. In fact, I think if they had found better songs, this would have topped their previous album. But they didn't. I don't know why either. Number 1, Twist My Arm. 3rd single, went to number 83 main and 61 R&B. One of the better ones here. You know, I do like the production, ironically. And the verse melody is cool with hitting that 9th over and over. Hey You, Pound Pound Pound. Back in My Arms, 4th single, didn't chart. Burn Down the Night, Bodies and Souls, so close to being good. Number 7, Contact. Their title track, I do like that one. It wasn't a single, though, I don't think. Number 8, Dare Me, was the first single. It was their only actual hit from the album. Number 11, main, 6 R&B. It's a pretty good song. They're also their final top 20 hit of their career. Freedom, 2nd single, number 59, main, 25 R&B. Kind of an overwrought social ballad, which there were a lot of those in the 80s. I guess inspired by We Are the World. Remastered tracks in the 2011 reissue, I'll Be There, not the one, any of the ones you're thinking of. Why this wasn't on the original album escapes me, though. It's honestly better than the entire rest of the album. Plus 7 remixes and single versions. Number 86, they released the album Hot Together. Yet another reinvention, and it did okay, though it also continued their slide. Went to number 48 main, 39 R&B. It was the 8th of 9 collabs with producer Richard Perry. And I think at this point he was lagging behind in production values. But I don't know. Number 1, My Life, not the one you're thinking of. Number 2, Mercury Rising was the 4th single. Number 49 R&B, didn't chart main. Number 3, Goldmine was the first single. It's their only real hit from this album. Went to number 33 main, so top 40. And number 17 R&B. It's a pretty strong song. All I Know Is the Way I Feel is the 3rd single, number 93 main, number 69 R&B. Another warmed over ballad, at least not for me anyway. Say the Word, very strong song. Number 6, Hot Together, title track, was featured in the movie Spaceballs, but it was not a single. Pretty good if the lyrics are very singer-songwritery of the period. Number 7, Sexual Power, 2nd single, didn't chart. To me, it was like another try to recreate their early 80s hits. 8, Set Me Free. Number 9, Taste. More like the early 80s, but good song. And again, I say early 80s again, because I think Richard Perry, was lagging behind a little. Number 10, Eyes Don't Lie. Strong song. And then on the reissue in 2011, the song, they did 5 remixes and the new song translation. In 1987, the following year, they released the non-album single Be There, which was featured in Beverly Hills Cop 2. Saw the movie, loved the movie, don't remember the song. Decent, though. And it made it to number 42 Maine. Was that their last top 50 hit? I believe it might have been. Next album, Serious Slammin' from 1988, was a huge disappointment for them. Only went to number 152 Maine, and it was their final record with Richard Perry, which I think that was a good idea. It was a melange of popular production styles of the day. All of it sounds like they were reaching for other people's hits. And the thing is, lots of artists have done this. I've done it in some of my music, but the only ones who do it well are the ones who have great material to work with. They had great performances. They always have. It was the material. Their energy was great too, just the material. So number 1, the Serious Slam title track, Strong Start. Absolutely a takeoff of New Jack, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, work with Janet in particular, Janet Jackson. Number 2, Shut Up and Dance. Sounds like You Got the Look, Prince. Another strong song. 3, Moonlight Dancing. I can't remember what this reminds me of, but it's also good. I don't know why this album didn't do better other than time had passed them by. And I think maybe that the record label didn't promote it enough. I don't know. Because there's things here that are stronger than the previous album. Number 4, He Turned Me Out. First single, only hit number 39 R&B. Not bad, but again, kind of a lesser Janet Jackson song. 5, Flirtatious. 6, My Life Remix, the previous album from Hot Together. I like this version better. Updated, production. 7, I'm in Love. Second single, only hit number 67 R&B. Boilerplate ballad. They did a lot of boilerplate ballads. 8, Pride. 9, might be my fave on this album. It's kind of like an updated George Clinton. Number 10, I Will Be There. Non-album single in 1988 was The Power of Persuasion, which was featured in yet another movie sequel, this time Caddyshack 2, which I didn't see. I'm not sure I saw the whole of the first one either. It's not bad. And in many ways, it's better than most of their album songs. Great energy, great performances. I think more often went into the songs for the movies because it was either a different producer or a different team, and they needed it to be that good, and they had more guidance because of the movie, etc. I think that does happen. 1990, they released the album Right Rhythm, which was their previous label dropped them after that last album. This was their only record for Motown. Didn't chart. Some nice production updates, honestly, including a return of more of their rock elements, which I like. Definitely more forward than backward looking, which I also like. Their last 3 albums were primarily more backward looking. Mainly reverb is just toned down, which happened by 1990 for most artists anyway. Worthy attempt at a comeback, though again, not many strong songs. Number 1, Friends Advice, Don't Take It. I kind of like it. Some interesting production choices here. It was their first single, went to number 36 R&B. So they still charted here in 1990, just not on the main chart. Man with the Right Rhythm, Real Life, not my song, Real Life. After You, second single, didn't chart. Another uninspired ballad to me. Number 5, You Knocked the Love Right Out of My Heart. Return to their rock side, and they really lay into the rock. Billy Said Yes is number 6. Better attempt at a social message than anything they tried in the 1980s and most of the 1970s, honestly. Good song. Number 7, Insanity, third single. Number 62, R&B, didn't chart in Maine. I love the production. Honestly, this song, listen to the Pointer Sisters' Insanity and tell me if it doesn't remind you of a proto version of Britney's Hit Me Baby One More Time. Tell me. I don't know. What a Woman Wants. Where Have You Been? I like the sound, but not the song. Number 10, We Just Want to Thank You. Very cool sample pastiche of their old hits wrapped up as a thank you to fans. The song itself is not great, but it's kind of cool. And their final album, Only Sisters Can Do That, released in 1993, 3 years later, featured Issa Pointer for the first time, and the three, still, Anita, June, and Ruth. Did not chart, but the critics loved it. Peter Wolf from Jay Giles co-produced this. It's not nearly as much of an update as it should have been after 3 years, I think. But that said, pretty strong. Another refresher. Again, energy and performances are there. It should have done better to me. I feel like their label, which this time was SBK, didn't promote it enough. I thought they were, couldn't compete with En Vogue and people like that at the time. I don't know. Number 1, It Ain't a Man's World. Nice female empowerment song. Decent. Number 2, I Want Fireworks. Number 3, Don't Walk Away. It was the only single. Didn't chart. Decent pop rock. Not stellar, but decent. Featured Michael McDonald. Not the first time, I believe. Was meant for Ruth's abandoned solo project, which reminds me of many things, but including Tears for Fears, and Orzabal was working on a solo project in the early 2000s, but instead they got back together. I feel like that maybe was what happened. Number 4, Eyes Like a Child. Number 5, Only Sisters Can Do That. Title track, fairly strong, written by the sisters. 6, Feel for the Physical. I like this one. I think this should have been the single, or at least a single. Tell It to My Heart, not the one you're thinking of. It's funny how many of their titles were similar to hits, but weren't those hits. And they did covers too, so very confusing. Number 8, Vibe Time. I like this one. Number 9, Lose Myself to Find Myself. On an earlier album, I feel like this would have been a lame song, but done here in this way, it's a pretty strong song. Number 10, Sex, Love, or Money. Latin infused. Pretty damn good. So that effectively ended their recording career. They did release, however, no more albums other than hits and stuff, and I think live albums. Some singles. In 2005, they released a version of Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves with Natalia, originally written by Annie Lennox and recorded by the Eurythmics and Aretha Franklin. It was a big hit. Released only in Belgium as a single and went to number 2 there. It's honestly really good. Should have released in the States. Maybe they didn't have the money to do that. Also in 2005, Christmas in New York. Sounds like throwback Pointer Sisters and pretty good. Didn't make my Christmas mix, but pretty good. Charted U.S. Adult Contemporary number 21. So I guess you can count that as their last chart on any chart, number 21. In 2005, fairly recent. In 2020, they released the single Feels Like June. Nice sound update, really nice sound update. Not a strong song, but a nice tribute to June, who died 14 years before. So I don't know why it took that long, but nice they put it out. In 2022, they released a new disco remix of Automatic, done by Sean Finn and Lotus. Not super standout remix, but nice. I'm okay with this because I love the song. I believe it sounds like Ruth re-sang the song too, which is cool. Well, I don't know if that's true though. Look it up. 2023 was the last thing they released. Yes, We Can, Silo X, John Buchanan remix. Really nice remix. Again, it sounds like Ruth and Nisa and Sadako re-sang it, but I could be wrong there. Maybe it's just the way it was produced. I don't know. And that's it for the chronology. Let's get to some conclusions. They were a pure vocal and performance talent with some songwriting chops, but no musical center other than to be good, which is important, perform consistently and well, which is important, and to have success, which I think was both good and bad for them in terms of how it drove their music. That was also what drove their constant shifting of styles and looking for the next thing or trying to recreate the old thing and not really having that artistic center other than vocal harmonies, which they, of course, won Grammys for. So who am I to judge? Artists like this typically tank when they're no longer able to hit the trends at the right time or, more importantly, find or create good songs, which is kind of what happened in the late 80s and beyond. Some good songs, but not nearly as strong. But then again, and I will say this, what we think we know, we don't know, because I guarantee you the record labels didn't promote them the way they should have, is my guess. I also, business people run fast when they smell the stank of declining charts and sales, and it's shitty and it's short-sighted and it's understandable for the biz, but not very supportive to music or musicians. They never gave less than their all, live or recorded, and Ruth and family continue to live the tradition in style. Still performing. I just saw that they have some performances this year coming up. Their music has been unfairly pigeonholed by their huge 80s hits, and though I had heard a few of their hits from the 70s and very early 80s, I too did not really know their history and the breadth of their output until I dived in. I guarantee this is due to those factors, just general exposure and whatever, and these factors, I should say. the market, the industry, overlooking black artists' musical diversity in favor of strict categorization, humans' inclination, or overlooking women's artists' musical diversity for the same reasons, humans' inclination to reduce artists to their biggest hits and most popular, period. That's why, even though I used the word heyday, I did an episode called There's No Such Thing as a Heyday, because there are plenty of times I've listened to an artist's entire catalog and found amazing music at times when they weren't famous. And some of it was better than their famous period. I can informally count at least a dozen genres they killed at. And I guarantee I'm missing some: rock, pop, country, adult contemporary / easy listening, soul, R&B, funk, jazz, vocal group, disco, dance, electro, new jack. They killed at all of them. They're not a hard artist for me. They never have been, but I have loved many of their songs and have a huge appreciation for work. Which songs do I love? Top 35, bonus M extra, patreon.com/music is not a genre. Also love their tenacity, their longevity, their sisterhood, their hunger to incorporate tons of styles, and of course their vocal talents and performance talents. So what I hope is that this episode has shed a lot of light on them and their lesser work and gives you a reason to listen to stuff that you've never heard. That's my hope. And now, as promised, album rankings. I am ranking all 15. You're going to disagree. I'm sure I disagree with the critics, though. Guess what? I couldn't find anybody online who ranked their albums. Almost 6 billion people online, and no one has thought this band worthy of ranking their albums? Unless it's so far down in the search that I missed it. If you find a ranking other than mine, let me know. It's also very raucous. Some have ranked their top 10 songs. Okay, ran over. Here goes. My favorite albums might not contain my favorite songs. That's always true. Doesn't always line up. Again, bonus M extra. Patreon.com/music is not a genre to find what are my favorite 35 songs from 35 to number 1. All right, so number 15, Serious Slam, and their 13th album was not strong for me. Number 14, Priority, was their 6th album. Again, not strong. Honestly, between those two, I'm not sure. I feel like, no, this is right. Never mind. Number 13, Contact, 11th album. Was supposed to be their next big hit. It just fell flat to me. Number 12, Hot Together, their 12th album in the 80s. Again, better than Contact, I think. Still not great. Number 11, Right Rhythm, 14th album. Again, better than Hot Together, but not in their top 10. Number 10, Only Sisters Can Do That, their final album. I think was a strong entry. At least, certainly not the strongest, but pretty strong. Number 9, Having a Party, their 4th album. Number 8, Break Out, their 10th album. Stop right there. Are you saying, Nick, that their highest charting album only reaches number 8 for you? Yes. Because even though there were strong songs on there as an album listening experience, it doesn't rank higher to me than the next ones. Number 7, the one before that, So Excited, to me was a better listening experience. Number 6, Energy, their 5th album. Oh, number 5, That's a Plenty, their 2nd album. Second listen, I was like, whoa. Same for number 4, The Pointer Sisters, their eponymous 1st album. I think those are amazing albums and better upon second listen when you get rid of the fact that these are not the Pointer Sisters you're expecting. Number 3, Black and White, 8th album, partly because I love that production period, and it's just a strong album. Number 2, Special Things, again, that production period kills me, 7th album. And number 1, to me, the album I love the most, their 3rd album, Steppin'. Love the cover the most, too. And again, you want to hear my top 35 song rankings, patreon.com/music is not a genre, bonus M extra. Speaking of songs, featured song, I started a new paradigm last week, which in my world was 2 hours ago. And that is, I chose a song I'd already chosen. Instead of looking for a song I haven't shared yet, I'll still do that when songs pop up I haven't shared that fit. From now on, the new paradigm is pick the song that best fits the artist or topic I'm talking about. All right. And I think I can justify that because the featured songs collection playlist on youtube.com/appmusic is not a genre now has 97 unique songs. all of which I did, and with the help of many people. And while there will be more new songs coming, new, and older songs, but new to you, I think it's best to weave in a song that you might like if you're into the music I'm discussing. Okay. Now, that said, I haven't been directly influenced by the Pointer Sisters, but I've absorbed their music, being the age I am, and their overall aesthetic, and being as popular as they are. And this song is pretty close to that. Plus, it deals with relationships in a way that's similar to some of the Pointer Sisters songs throughout their career. And it's called You Make Me Wanna, a Rec song from Syncope for the Weird. Also featured on RECcollection, the Best of Rec 2007-2020. The link is here, always, but you're going to hear it in a minute or two. You may recognize it as the theme song to Podfast. I used it for that, the instrumental version. It started out life as background music to a promo video for some kind of artisanal wine food place. But I liked the music too much to leave it there, so I turned it into a post-disco song that I think anyone would want to dance to. Great horns and strings, very upbeat, even though the lyrics are kind of questioning. You make me want to think about my life. Why? The singer left his partner and is now having second thoughts, wants a second chance even, and in order to do that, he needs to reassess his own life. That's what the song's about. And that said, it's one of the poppiest, funnest songs I've ever done. I think you'll love it, and you'll hear it in a few seconds. Please also click the link and like and share and playlist and all that stuff. Questions? How well do you know the Pointer Sisters? Do you know them better now? Are you familiar with only their big hits, or did you know more already? Did you have any idea how varied their musical output has been? I didn't. What's your favorite song? What's your favorite era? What's your favorite album? I want to hear the answers to all these questions because, as always, my objectives here are music, conversation, and connection. Thank you for hanging with me. Second episode of Season 8, and I'll talk to you next week.
Sometimes, when I'm alone, I get a little crazy, and I need to reach out, cause my mind, it goes to places it shouldn't go. Cause you make me wanna think about my life. 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 Don't take it all away. No. Don't take it all away. When I said so long to you, I know that it was the right thing. But now our love it is through. I don't know what is happening. You make me wanna think about all the things that we never had. You make me wanna think about all the times that we were glad to be together.